It finally happened. Anna Duggar broke her silence, but also kind of didn't break her silence because she didn't really say much of anything. We are going to be discussing themes that may be disturbing to some viewers, and although I will be being very mindful with what I say as to keep it less triggering for you, the topic in general is just upsetting. So please continue watching at your own discretion. Before I get into this video, just a very quick disclaimer. I hate them too, but I gotta give it to you guys. I'm getting over COVID right now, so I am still very congested and I've been getting out of breath when I'm talking. I'm also pregnant, so a combination of the two, I think it's just hitting me a little bit harder than it does some. If I sound like I'm gasping for air or if I'm really nasally and that's annoying to you, I'm sorry. I'm trying to get over COVID, but I wanted to do this video because I got some things to say. Yesterday, which will be 2 days from you guys, Anna Duggar made a post on her Instagram and she also shared it on her Twitter. And this post simply said, "There's more to the story, link in bio," or something like that. And of course, on her Instagram, she had the comments turned off. I wasn't really that surprised to see that because it doesn't really seem like she can handle what people have to say about it. Like, her turning the comments off to me said, you know, everybody is gonna be like, Anna, seriously. However, the comments were still on her Twitter, and so I was looking through some of those, and people seem to have the same viewpoint that I still have, and I'm curious what you guys think. When I read that, I was like, what does she mean there's more to the story? And I was hoping when I clicked on this link that it was gonna take us to like a statement, because she still has not made one, as most of us know. And to me, I think that's pretty awful because there's children involved, and you'd think that the wife of the man who's accused of these horrific things would want to say something in defense of victims of this type of stuff, even if she didn't believe that he did it. Like, this is a time to open your mouth and to speak up for victims, and of course, she hasn't made a statement. I was hoping there was going to be one. But no, the link did not take us to a statement. It took us to the documents of request for acquittal and a retrial. So if you're like me, I hate going over documents and stuff. I would much rather somebody explain it to me instead of me having to read through a bunch of legal stuff. That's not fun for me. I like the tea from it, but I don't like having to go through all that. But I did it for you guys. I was like, what is the more to the story that is in these documents? What is it that she's trying to say without actually saying anything? Because I still felt a little confused based on what was in there, like what it is that she thinks. I'm gonna tell you guys what I think she thinks is more to the story. So first of all, in these documents, they're saying that the government failed to show proof or to have any proof that Josh Duggar knew that the material was of minors, which I have heard that there are babies in this. If you look at that, like, that's proof. Like, if you don't know, you just need to be locked up just for being stupid. It also talks about in the court that there wasn't any user that was on that computer that had viewed these files, and then also the files were deleted shortly after they were downloaded. But to me, that doesn't matter because I'm like, someone can look at them, I don't know, put them on a floppy disk or something and delete them immediately. Wait, why did I say floppy disk? Do people even use those anymore? They could have copied them on something. I don't know. They could have looked at them really quick and then deleted them. Like, that to me, the fact that it was deleted quickly after doesn't mean anything to me. They were still downloaded. I don't care if you downloaded them for 0.1 second. You still downloaded them. Then also the thing about like them failing to mention that no user that was logged on to the computer had viewed the materials. You know, you can make new profiles on your PC. You can get on there and make a million new profiles every day if you want to, and then delete them. Is it possible that maybe somebody that was on this computer that was maybe deleted after they looked at what they wanted to look at and got what they wanted to get? I don't know if there is a way for them to tell that or not. They're saying that they are basically required to give Josh a new trial because they failed to disclose anything in a timely manner, essentially. They can't prove that he's the one that actually looked at it, and because Josh tried to call on a witness by the name of Kyeluh Williams, who also had access to the computer and knew the passwords, they're also wanting a new trial because of that as well, which to me, I was like, okay, well, I need to look into this a little bit more, because why was he not allowed to call on this witness? And also, it was kind of a big thing that, I mean, it was a big thing to me even, and it was a big thing to a lot of you guys that commented that Josh was the only one who had the password on the computer, supposedly. So now we're hearing that someone else that was also at this car lot had the password. So that does kind of like make you, I mean, it's like, why didn't they mention that, basically? Like, it was definitely something that I thought, I'm not saying I think Josh is innocent by any means, but it's definitely something where I'm like, if you knew somebody else had access to the password, why would you say that they didn't? Because now they're using that and grabbing for straws and doing whatever they can to get him a retrial, which is annoying. And then also in the documents, they're saying that they failed to mention that Kyeluh Williams has spoken with and contacted them on numerous occasions. So they're like, Josh wasn't allowed to use him as a witness, but you guys have talked to him on numerous occasions. Essentially, it seems like what they're trying to come from is like, why weren't you guys, you know, being open about the fact that you've been in communication with this Kyeluh Williams guy? During one of these times, there was an email that was sent by Kyeluh to the government, and the email said, I was completely mistaken about not being at Wholesale Motor Cars lot during the time I was in Arkansas between May 8th, 2019 and May 11th, 2019. I do not know if I was on the lot computer or even if I ended up going there. It looks like during my time there, I did odd work for the guys and maybe even Josh Duggar. In the messages between Josh Duggar and I while I was in Arkansas, as attached in one of these screenshots I'm providing, I tell Josh I was planning to come on the lot in a couple of days. I apologize for the mistake. I had no intention to mislead you all. The documents also say in this email, Kyeluh Williams admitted that he misled government investigators during his previous interview. He literally does not admit that. He says, I apologize for the mistake. I had no intention to mislead you all, but whatever. But it says that he may have been at the car lot on May 11th, 2019, which was the date that Linux was downloaded but not installed. Now, it's important to mention that this is not the date that the material that Josh is accused of looking at was looked at, so it's not even relevant to the situation. Also, he apparently attached photos and screenshots that supposedly proved that he wasn't there at the time that it was downloaded and at the time that all of the dates in question. So for me, when they're mentioning that, I'm like, okay, well, why are you even mentioning that if there is proof that he wasn't even there? Like, if that's the angle Anna's trying to come from, or if that's what she's trying to say, like there's more of the story, like this guy, access to the computer, he also had the passwords, but also he allegedly attached proof that he wasn't there at that time. Maybe he was there the day that Linux was downloaded, I guess, which was May 11th. Maybe he was there at that time, but he wasn't there the day that the images were looked at. So I don't know if she's trying to say that there's more of the story, like this guy like is the one that did this. And then apparently on November 30th of last year, Kyeluh wrote again another email, and in this one it said, I've also found a few more passwords if you all want them. At some point, several of the Duggar guys asked me to run the back ends of some of their social media to help them sell cars. Jed, Josiah, and Joseph, I do believe. Still have access to Jed's fake account and Josiah's account. Documents are basically saying that him saying, I've also found a few more passwords, shows that this Kyeluh guy gave them a password to something. Maybe it was a password to the computer, but that it was never disclosed that someone else had passwords, that it was never talked about. I think that's what they're trying to say, is that they've been talking to this guy about this stuff and getting information from him that hasn't been being disclosed, and now they're trying to use that as an angle to get an acquittal and to get Josh off the hook for this stuff that we know he did. But it's an issue because they used it in court that Josh was the only one that had access to the password. So because they used that in the court, but now there's some evidence showing that they were aware that he wasn't the only one that had the password, they're trying to basically say they botched the trial. That's what I'm getting out of it. It's not that it's saying that Kyeluh did these things. I think it's just trying to come from the angle that you didn't let him talk to this guy who also had access to the passwords. And I guess in the documents it said that one of the reasons why they thought Josh wanted to call on this Caleb guy is because he's a sex offender. He's on the sex offender registry. They were thinking, or saying that they were thinking, that he wanted to call on him just because he was a part of the sex offender registry thing, so it would make it look more like he was the one that did it. So my thing, and I want to do like a separate video because my camera's about to die. I don't have time to go into it right now in this one, but I want to do a separate video all about Kayla Williams and this whole thing. I'm thinking that Anna's more to the story is potentially that she's trying to say, or she thinks that Caleb did it. I bet you anything, I'm willing to bet anything that Josh told her that he did it. I'm willing to bet anything that Josh was telling her, Caleb did this, Caleb is a sex offender, and then she's seeing he has access to the computer, blah, 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 but she's totally negating the fact that there are screenshot proof that he was not there at that time. So that is the only thing in these documents that I could think. Is that what she means by there's more to the story? Because what are you talking about? This whole document is literally, to me, when I read it, this is what I think. It's just them grabbing for straws. It's just them trying to do anything that they can possibly do to get a retrial, trying to get Josh out. That's all that this was to me. There is some things where I'm like, I wish that it was more transparent at the time, because now they're using it trying to get him an acquittal, which is really annoying. So I wish there were things that were definitely more transparent, but nothing in this document to me at this point tells me that he didn't do this. There's nothing in here that is like more to the story to me. I'm curious what you guys think. I'm sure some of you guys are gonna think he did this, because I have Duggar fans comment all the time that don't like my videos that I do about it and are just very like pro Duggar. They do no wrong. And I'm sure there's people that are just gonna look at that and be like, oh, this is proof that this guy did this. Him being a part of the sex offender registry isn't proof that he did this. I'm gonna do another video. I'm gonna try and get it up tomorrow where I tell you guys all about Caleb Williams if you don't know. I'm sure some people know, but I'm gonna do it for those of you that don't know because I didn't know. Then we'll talk a little bit more about it because I wanna see what you guys think. My question to Anna is if the more to the story is that you think that because this guy's a part of the sex offender registry, he had access to the password. If you think that that's proof that he did this, what about the fact that your husband has a really bad track record with stuff as well? Not only with lying to you and infidelities and things like that, being a part of Ashley Madison, hooking up with that girl on multiple occasions. It literally said she felt like he was trying to kill her, that it was just so violent. And traumatizing. She's even said she has PTSD from it. Also, the things that he did to his sisters. You have all this proof of stuff that Josh did too. But you think that because this other guy's a part of the sex offender registry list, that just automatically means, oh, he must have done it? Like, she obviously didn't say that, but that's the only thing I can come up with from her post is maybe that's what she meant. Maybe that's not what she meant, but everything else in it is just grabbing for straws. So I think that's what she thinks. I think that's what Josh has told her. And this is where my camera died. I'm gonna be doing a video about Caleb Williams, going over why he's a part of the sex offender registry list and giving more details into that. But if you guys think that there's a different reason why she was saying more to the story, definitely let me know down below. And also let me know what you guys think down below about this being her post. This is her breaking her silence, posting these documents when she could have said anything in defense of victims of this type of horrific stuff that Josh is accused of. Instead of her putting out a statement about that, this is what she chose to put out. What do you guys think about it? I'll see you guys soon with a video going deeper into this and Caleb Williams.